Hello and welcome to another episode of Skillcraft. Today, it's going to be a fun episode. Firstly, happy Pride Month. As of recording, it's kind of just turned Pride Month, so I've snazzed up my hearts a little bit. Felt like the right thing to do, and it kind of matches my XP bar now, so that's lovely. So today, I want to do all of the interiors for this city, which is a bit of a tall ask. If you've been watching, you kind of know I don't like interiors really. Last episode we completed Pretty Pete's Pete Shop, and this was the best I had. This is pretty much the only interior I've done. Oh, I did this one over here, which is, well, like barely an interior. I also didn't do up here. So that's the kind of stuff that we've got to do today. So I'm going to make a list. Let's see how many we have to do. We've got the bottom floor there, the top floor there. We've got 3 floors here. We got 2 floors there. We got 1 floor there. We got 2 floors here. And we got 3 floors there. Oh, and we got this one here as well. Can't forget that one. So we've got a fair few of them to do. So let's just get started. Luckily, I don't think I'll be needing to do all of that much like resource gathering, so at least that won't take a long time. I should have all of the resources I need. It's just going to be the painful bit of figuring out how to make a good looking interior. But I think the best way to do this is going to be collecting lots of like little useful bits like all of this. Thankfully, I do have a lot of that kind of stuff in here because this is the kind of stuff that's going to bring it to life a little bit. And this is why I kind of struggle with interiors a lot, because there's lots of just small, random little bits and bobs, details that you want. So I've got a lot of shulker boxes on me, and I've got all of my ones in there, and hopefully that I should have everything I need. If I forget anything, my storage system is literally right there, but now I have to make the decision of where to start, and I think I kind of want to go small, so I am going to work on this one up here, which is a nice little simple easy start. Now the way I want to tackle these interiors is to give each one a little story, because something I struggle with is I tend to build quite generic interiors that don't really mean a whole lot, and I don't really know what to fill them with, whereas I think if I have a little story I can kind of work to that little story. So down here, I mean, obviously we've got a shop front. This is a bit of a shop front in the kind of slums area of town, so this is someone just trying to get by selling stuff. But then, back here, I'm not actually showing it on camera, there's a little hole that kind of leads out to the outside. So the story that I want to go with is these guys are smugglers. They've got their little business going, but then they're also smuggling stuff out the back. So, if we're going with the idea of smugglers, what do I want to put up here? I think I want this to be a bit of a storage room, because this will be where they store their shop items and the things that they're about to kind of smuggle out of the city, smuggle in, where they're going to store their goods. But I also kind of imagine that it's a bit of like a way stop, so people can kind of hide out in here. Not exactly the most comfortable place, but there are beds and that's enough. So let's run with that and see where it takes us. I think we're off to a pretty good start here. I think this place feels real dense and real kind of cramped up here, and I like it. I think it shows that they're kind of storing stuff. I think it shows that this is somewhere someone could hang out. Like it wouldn't be comfortable, but it's an option. And I've kind of put these banners to kind of like have them like covering up the windows. They don't really want to be seen, because they are up to some shady business up there. To be honest, I did kind of pick a bit of an awkward one to start with, because I just had shulker boxes everywhere. My inventory was full, which is another reason I don't really like interiors. So I've ended up just throwing them all out here, which is a little bit annoying because I do have to run back and forth, but shouldn't be too bad. Right, that's one down. Let's move on to another one, and I think I'm going to do the second smallest one. Like, I'm scared of these ones. There's so much to do. I'm scared of them. I'm going to do this one. So this one here is kind of just like a generic house. So I need to think of something we can make it a bit less generic, kind of make up a story about the person who lives here. Looking at the way I've built this, it's quite like a rundown property. I've got signs boarding up doors and windows. I've got broken windows up there. This literally has holes in it and trap doors kind of holding it together. So I think that would track for the interior. So the interior is going to be quite rough, quite strewn together. It's not much of an upstairs, so I think we might have to have like a bed under the stairs maybe. And maybe the upstairs is more like the living room area. I feel like it would be useful to have a window kind of on a higher level. I imagine it has a somewhat large crime rate in this city, or at least people would want to feel very protected. And so I think that would track with that. I think the person who lives here is quite a paranoid person. So let's see how that translates into an interior. Okay, I've got a bit of an upstairs. I've tried to have like a little bit of a workshop here. This is like a work table. That's kind of it. This upstairs a little bit rough, so I might come back to that. And now I've got to do downstairs. I've got the bed here. I think let's oh, do I want something here? Let's just do this for now. We might change it. I want that to go up to there. Kind of block this off a little bit. Maybe put that on the other side. There we go. Now I'm not really sure what I want this bottom area to be. Maybe this is where we have like, you know, the general kind of stuff required to live. So like a smoker. Oh, we can't really have a chimney actually. I suppose I could do that. I'm not sure I'm really liking this bottom bit. Maybe some barrels. I kind of want to cover this door up because there's not really a use for it. We'll stick a shelf in. Sure. When in doubt, add shelves. And plants. Plants always help. I also want to add one up there. I think this person is a little bit paranoid, you know, they've got weapons and they don't live in the best of situations, but they cherish their plants maybe, and they're actually like quite caring. Okay, this actually turned out really nice. I like this bit. We've got a really dense kind of living roomy area bit here. There's just a lot of stuff, a lot of storage. I've got this really nice little bit up here, just a little shelf with some stuff on. I did add a painting up here just because this wall was really bland. I'm not sure I like it because I don't know if they really would have paintings, but I suppose there's not really any value on paintings. Like, it's not like they wouldn't have the money to have paintings because money doesn't exist. They probably just found it, thought it looked nice and hung it up. So I'm going to keep that there. I think I like it. And then over here we got a little battle station. Using an armor stand, I propped the sword against the wall. This is just a item frame. So that's their chest plate. So they got a bit of protection while they open the door in case there's any dodgy folk, anyone they don't necessarily trust. So there we go, that's this building done. I really like that. I definitely started this interior thinking I'm not really sure what I want to do or how this is going to look, but I think after like 20 minutes of just like tweaking, maybe not 20 minutes, maybe like 15, 10 minutes, I don't know, but just lots of tweaking, little bits, finding little bits from my inventory, searching storage and stuff, I think it kind of ended up being something really cool and really quite interesting. Next up, I want to take a swing at this building. I've added a little ladder so we can at least get to the floors. We've got two quite large, quite empty floors. Now I think what I want to do with this one is turn it into its like original form, so to speak, kind of before the apocalypse. So imagine those are apartments. So I'm going to build like a nice, identical, clean apartment for both of these, and then we're going to tear them to shreds, pretty much, and make each one kind of a little bit more individual. We've got a visitor. Excuse me, mate, but, like, can you please stop massaging Pete's head? It's a little invasive. It's scaring off the customers. I'm going to have to ask you to politely leave. So, this is what I've got. I hate it. I've been trying to kind of put together an apartment, and I hate it, and I think I'm just gonna do it the normal way, how I would normally do it. Oh, I hate it. No, maybe I come back to this one. Yep, that one's really not going well. How about I try a different building? Maybe let's come out round to the front here. This little tiny little police style box thingy here. There's a hole in... What? Why is there a hole here? Okay, well, we'll have to fix that. But I Yeah, I think I'm going to move this one. We need a door, firstly, so that, I reckon, can go in the back here. We'll have an iron door there. Maybe we have a door leading through here. Let's see. If I cut out here... Yeah, that can work. Let's do this one while I recover from the emotional damage that that one did over there. Because, God, that one did not go well. This interior ended up being really nice. Let's show you around. Firstly, we got the door here, opens up with a button, and I think there are a lot of really cool details. So obviously we got a desk with like a little manifest or something for whoever would be here to like keep track of who's coming in and out. And I'm obsessed with doing this little sword against the wall. It just looks so good. It's so easy to do. And I love it. And I really like this. I've got a little key on the side. I think I would have preferred like the regular key, but I do like the blue key tip of this because I think the other one is orange. Whereas the blue fits quite nicely with the kind of theme I'm going for. I've gone with like blue accents to some of this stuff, so they're a bit reminiscent of the police. But I think having a key here just really sells the vibe, even though you don't use the key. At the back here, got a little generator kind of design thingy going on. And I do need to add all of the kind of foliage about, but I didn't really want to do that now. I'll probably do that in between episodes at some point. And then the really cool bit up here, we've got a little archer ready to take out the zombies and protect the civilians. We got a few arrows scattered on the floor. We got a bell ready to alert the whole city. Well, that was a cool little detail and just a few bits of bobs thrown about, and then that leads back round and down to here. So all in all, a very nice little interior, and I love how it looks from down here as well. You can see inside, you can see the guy at the top, the bell. Oh, it looks lovely. And I think we finally completed this little story out the front here, and it kind of restored my faith in interiors a little bit. I'm a little scared to tackle that one though. So I think next up we do this one here, which luckily for me already has a bit of an interior, and my dogs. I'm not really sure what to do with these. Who's been flipping my trapdoors? Sorry, getting a little bit distracted. We gotta flip those back down. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with those dogs, or if I should keep them there. That's also flipped. And I'm not entirely sure what the story is going to be for this building, so I've got to think on that, hopefully come up with something, because it is a little bit of a blank slate. There's not much here to work with, other than the dogs, which I don't think really makes a lot of sense, but maybe we can work one or two of them into this. I have an idea. I want to make this a bit of like a police building, like kind of like a sheriff's hut kind of thing. So I think we could use this to maybe have like a sheriff's desk kind of thing. Maybe like under the stairs is like a jail cell. And I'm not entirely sure what I put up here. Maybe I'll just put like a room, like the sheriff's room. It might be a little bit tight on space down here, but I think we can make it work. And I think that will tie in really nicely with like the police stuff over here. Oh, I also did get a little bit distracted and I tidied up this area a little bit. I think it just looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, it will tie in really nicely with this stuff over here. And this is kind of like the front gates, so, you know, where they have the guard posts. And then this is like their home base where they can kind of keep watch over the city. I think that's a pretty nice idea to go with. So let's just get it started. So let's start with the bottom. I'm thinking if we have a desk like here, we can hopefully fit some kind of jail cell like under here. It might look a little bit awkward. I'm hoping we can make this work, but I mean, looking at it right now, yeah, that's a little bit rough. And I've accidentally locked myself in. That's great. That's a little better. I'm not a huge fan of the way iron doors kind of match up with this, but I think like we're just gonna have to put up with it. Maybe if I put it in like that, yeah, it's a little less obvious than from here. I mean, we don't have to be able to get to the inside. Look, I'm not actually gonna put anyone in here. I don't think anyway. So we could just have like like bars all the way across. Yeah, I think I actually like that better. But we need to make sure to give it at least a little bit of an interior. So let's do that. Let's do that. Giving them a soul torch. They don't deserve all that much light. If we do that, can that be a bit of a table? I literally can't get out. Yeah, that's a bit of a table there. There we go. Oh, lovely cramped jail cell. And we need to make sure the sheriff has got a chair. I like doing this. Add a little back to the chair. Feel like the sheriff would have a nice plant on the front there. And we'll give him a painting out the back here. Oh, blue. Perfect. And you know what? Let's keep the blue theme running. Let's give him a nice blue carpet. I suppose we probably might need a bit of a waiting room. I think I'm going to get rid of these pressure plates because they are actually quite annoying. I can't put those out the front. Yeah, we're just going to have to deal without the pressure plates. Sure, let's put that out there. So we've at least got one on the back. I think then let's do maybe... Now, I want to keep that area quite open, but we can have a bit of a waiting area just like that. Lovely. I like that. I mean, the door is a little bit close. It does kind of open onto to that area, but sure, it'll do. Then we need a chair there, and we'll put that on like that. There we go. So you can have a meeting with the sheriff. I think that's a solid bottom. Oh, actually, we do need some lights. I think let's maybe stick some candles out the back here, and we'll just stick stick a lantern there. There we go. Lovely, nice, warm light. So then moving upstairs, I imagine the sheriff would have a double bed, you know. The sheriff's pretty well off. It's quite a high-paying job. And, of course, lots more blue because this guy just can't get enough of the carpet. This upstairs took a little bit longer. I guess I kind of just struggle with, like, bedroom interiors. That's definitely not my strong suit, but I think I actually quite liked how this turned out. It's definitely the most luxurious room I'm going to build today. We've got a lovely big desk with a book. We got a quill here. Love that little detail. And this sheriff's even got a creaking head. Where he come across it? I don't know. But he's found it and clearly pretty proud of it. So there we have it, the sheriff's building. I'm pretty happy with that one. And that's a rather large building filled up. So that's a good sign. Meaning we've got 3, 4, 5 left? Oh, 6, 7, 8. Forgot about those ones. And they're all kind of like the apartment style buildings. So I've got to build a lot of bedrooms. Uh-oh. Or we adapt them slightly. I'm thinking for this build, out the front here, I put like a little food storage sign. I kind of imagine that this would be the place where they kind of like ration the food and control the food that goes around the city. So I'm gonna need to move this, but I reckon we can I'm adding another room to the list here. I completely forgot about this basement floor or ground floor, but I reckon we move that and turn this into a kind of food storage room, and then we can have like stairs or whatever leading to the floors up. And then I've got a few ideas of what I could put on those upper floors, but I do need to find somewhere to put that because down here there is not a lot of room that's gonna like look nice. I suppose I could put a door through here. That's gonna look a bit ugly, but like, can I just deal with that? I think I can. So let's just quickly move this. There we go, nice and simple, and it all links up perfectly well. So I'm gonna start with the stairs. I feel like that's something good to put in first. I was thinking I could just make this a 1x1, these stairs, just because up here it does take up a lot of room. But maybe I'll just work with it. I mean, if this is a storage area, we're going to have it quite spacious and open, so that won't look too crazy. In fact, let's just start by putting on a little trapdoor railing. And I'm really quite running out of jungle wood. That is not great. Okay, good stuff. Now, this isn't going to be too crazy, so I'm just going to add... Actually, no, we can put barrels there. I just want some, like, shelves. These are going to be in the middle of the room. If I just do something like this. I don't want them to take up, like, crazy amounts of room. But something like that. Ooh, I could have maybe put in like a kitchen. Also, I completely forgot about the stairs. I was going to do that first. Maybe we do ladders because there's actually not a lot of room now that I've put those in. So we'll just like line this back wall with some like barrels and crafting tables and things. And I do actually need like a furnace area. I literally have no furnaces down here. I usually just find one in a chest, or use these ones here, which are part of the wall. Actually, is there anything in there? Yeah, see, 2 coal. So maybe this could be a pretty nice kitchen-y area. There we go. We've got a bit of a kitchen-y bit going on. Maybe I change the floor, or no, I quite like it. It wouldn't make sense to change the floor. We got everything we need, some sinks and cookers and stuff. We got a little chopping board. We got like bottles and food on the side. Added some to the shelves as well. And I actually quite like this bit. I need a ladder, and that feels like a pretty nice place to have a ladder. So I'd say that's this floor done. Oh, we could actually put some stuff up here. That's looking a little bit less bland. Now let's move upper floor. This bottom floor, not too bad. And we've got, I believe, 2 more. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 3 more. That's a little bit rough. But I think I've got 2 ideas at least. I think I want to have like a barracks on 1 floor where we can have lots of armor and swords and weapons. And then I also want like a medics on another floor. And then maybe the top can just be like spare beds and bedrooms. I think this is off to a good start. We've got like a little weapon stand area in this little cubby hole here. And I think that's looking pretty cool. Again, so obsessed with this little sword against the wall thing. This time I kind of tried to make it look like it's a sword against a stand. Now it's a little bit more furnished. And then finally, some little sleeping quarters, as well as some awesome hanging crossbows. I thought that was pretty smart, hanging the crossbows with like a tripwire hook. And I even actually added one out here as well, because I really like that little trick. But yeah, I quite like this little barracksy area. It's a bit of like a chill out zone. They've got their weaponry at the ready, and then there's also some beds for people to sleep here, I guess. Maybe they're on call overnight or something, I don't know. So moving up again, I think this one is going to be the medics. Ooh, skill tree's on. Let's take a break from interiors for a little bit. I'm definitely not going a little bit insane from all of these.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Yes, I am redstoning. I figured it may be about time I made us a super smelter. Still not done. As you can probably tell.
Yeah, I could tell.
Iron farm works.
Oh, yay.
And you may see on the left there a couple more wool farms. I've got
More
every
sheeps.
every single colour wool now.
I did see that as I
And
flew in.
I've put it in order.
It's
I know.
perfect timing.
It hasn't been here that long actually, so I'm surprised it's already got that much.
Ah. Ooh.
But it's very efficient.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute them. Oh my goodness.
I got bored when the iron farm broke. I got very bored.
Snow golem head. That's really
they're
cool.
Fun. Look at that. It's you.
You got the purple sheep head, finally. Yeah, look, we're literally matching. Put it back on. We are the same.
Oh, that's a thumbnail if I've ever seen one.
We are one.
Bigger brain as well. Very accurate.
Bigger head, that's definitely more accurate. Do you want to see what I've been doing? You'll be very...
I think I already know.
You'll be very proud.
Interiors?
Yeah! Oh, I've been doing way too many, yes.
I've only seen one. I've only seen one so far.
Oh, which one?
The podzol thing.
What? Oh, that. Oh yeah, that's old news. That's old news. Ignore the shulker boxes.
Oh my god.
Look, I need a lot of random bits for interiors.
Hang on. Yes, beautiful. This is the one that I saw in here. Love it.
The whole thing that inspired this episode. Because this episode is entirely interiors. And now you. Welcome to it.
Oh. I see progress. I couldn't get through there before. Well, I was able to get through there before.
You can't now. Actually, do try, because you will get stuck. Yeah, it's quite compact.
Love compact.
So we got this one. It's lovely. You'll notice the sword.
That sword is amazing.
I use this a lot. It's so cool. I've got this one up here.
I didn't even realise there was one upstairs.
Nice cramped storage space.
Oh, so you're making this... Are you actually planning on doing a hide and seek here? Because it is literally perfect.
It would be so perfect. We have to. This is a good one. This is the sheriff's office. That's where you're going to end up.
Prison that you can't get into.
Yeah, the door looked ugly. The quill next to the book.
You should have put that in a pot.
Oh yeah, I can use armor stands, can't I?
Yeah. See, I'm giving you ideas. I'm just that good.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Use even more armor stands.
Enemy.
Why do I invite you to this place? I should just lock the door.
I didn't think it would break.
I didn't know either. I should just
think
lock
it would
this
break
gate
with-
and kick you out. And don't let you back in. Oh, yeah, I'll do that later. Look at this. It's a crossbow on a hook. Don't touch them or shoot them. Do anything. Okay, so it's the next day since that last clip, and I've been thinking about these interiors and stuff, and Skillcraft actually had some pretty good ideas. So firstly, I've added a few of those. So we've got our little quill sticking out of a pot. This was quite awkward, and I don't know why I really struggled with this one, but it looks fine. It's a really cool idea though, and I think it's quite obvious what it is, so I'm happy with it. It's just like the angles are just slightly weird, and I can refix it. And he also gave me this idea of putting the armor here, and yeah, it just fills up that little gap nicely. I did play around with the poses a little bit, so it looks a bit nicer. And unfortunately, we can't have a helmet on it because I have the invisible helmet textures. But this morning, I was also kind of thinking about how much we have left. So I've just kind of gone ahead and gotten a few done, a few of the like kind of simpler ones, and just kind of pretty much been like bashing my head against the wall, and I'm hoping it looks good. So I've got some things to show you. Up here we got a medic bay, and this one I really wish I could have changed the floor out, but there's not much we can do. I quite like this kind of like curtainy kind of look, and I've just repeated it 3 times. Someone spilled their strawberry jam on this one. It was a really bad accident, and the worst bit is we're out of strawberry jam now, so we got to resort to grape jam. Like, ugh. Grape jam. Who has grape jam? Anyway, we've got like a little like surgery table, I guess. I don't really know. I don't really know what a med bay would look like in the apocalypse. This room is alright. It's not my favorite. I wish I could kind of change out some of the walls and ceilings and stuff, but like that's kind of the point. Like this is originally an apartment taken over to become a med bay. Like it's not going to be perfect. I'm definitely not using that as an excuse. Anyway, let's move on. Up here, we've got a kind of just like mass people storage room. I'm blanking on the word. Just like a mass bedroom, I guess. Just lots of spare beds that people could use, and I imagine it would be very cramped if all of these beds were filled up. Again, this is not really my favorite interior. It's a little bit hard to work with. I didn't really know what to put here, so I've just kind of resorted to a lot of beds, but I think it gets the point across, and we do have a little bit of a balcony. Not much out here though. So that's it for this building. We do actually have a fire escape. This is just already here from the outside, but it does lead all the way down. That one's a little broken, so that one doesn't really work. But these others do. And then I also completed this building here. And I didn't really have a story with this one. It was kind of just like a very rundown kind of apartment that people have been using. So the bottom floor, I'm not entirely satisfied with. You're kind of going to see a trend here. But it's a bit of like a storage room. We've got some kind of generator of some kind in the corner there, and some like bin bags just to try and make it feel a bit like kind of run down, not very used. There's a big kind of gap here. I'm not really sure what to put there. I might think of something, probably won't. That might end up staying like that. And then up here we've got just a room here with a bed and stuff, and then this is just like an outsidey bit. Yep, not much to say about this. And then up here we've got a bit of like an attic-y kind of vibe. So around here we've got some beds. It's kind of separated by like a big tattered like curtain, or at least that's what I tried to make it look like. This interior is quite similar to the one we did over here, and we've just got some like kind of work table-y bits and bobs, I guess. But yeah, so that's this interior. This building, definitely one of my least favorite. Does also happen to be the one that doesn't have a story behind it, so maybe there's something to that. But with those basically done, that leaves us with one left, my arch nemesis. These 2 floors here, the ones I started and then completely gave up on. Yeah, we have to figure out what to put here, and I have no ideas really. So I guess I'm gonna start looking through my chests and see if anything hits me. Hopefully something good. What do we have here then? I might be onto something here. I'm thinking, why don't we just make quite a nice apartment, because obviously Pretty Pete down here is a very good businessman, so a good rich businessman needs a nice rich fancy apartment, and so far as the apocalypse goes, I reckon this could be it. Okay, I finally landed somewhere. I like. Don't worry, Pete, you have a beautiful apartment. Let's go check it out. So when we come up, we're greeted with a nice, lovely open area. So right away, we've got a dog. Pete is a very caring individual, so naturally he's got a dog named Poppy with a nice, lovely brown collar that reminds him of his favorite, dirt. He really loves dirt. There's a lot of brown in here. And we've got the lovely expensive carpet. We've got some lovely expensive well cared for plants. Back here we got the lovely double bed. Very spacious. And Pete always makes sure to have his sword hanging. He doesn't use it often, but he's always got to have it about. And then up here we've got some lovely storage, a nice disc, some background music, which leads out onto the lovely balcony that has a nice view over everything. Oh, and of course he's got a lovely painting of a horse, which is brown, his favourite colour, and him from when he was younger. He used to be quite a handsome model. So there we go, there's Pretty Pete's lovely apartment, and it's probably the nicest one here. So we're officially finished, and you know what that means? We can get rid of the chest monster. Finally, I can stop getting flack from Skilltree for having this horrible thing here. And the world is right again. Everything's back in its place. Lovely stuff. So, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. We got so many interiors done today that I don't even really know where to do the outro. So, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, leaving a like, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. How do I get out of here?